What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Bruno Fernandes. No, I'm kidding. Bruno Fernandes. All right. I'm not going to say Bruno Fernandes because I'm American. Bruno Fernandes. That's how I'm going to say it. All right. Now, listen, guys, this situation is quite interesting. I have a lot of opinions on this situation. For me, before we get into anything in this video, if you've seen the game yesterday, you know the level that Bruno Fernandes, let's just talk quality of player potential, okay? I think Bruno Fernandes has not actually lived up to his full potential. Now, he's been phenomenal at Manchester United, but he's not been in a situation to thrive at Manchester United. Guys, if you look at Bruno's tenure at United, being there for, 7 seasons now, how many manager changes has he had? How many different systems has he been playing in? How many different starting 11s is he going out there with, okay? So when I look at Bruno Fernandes, I think he's far overachieved at this club, but I don't think he's overachieved for his even capabilities. And I guess what I mean by this is that if you were to chuck Bruno Fernandes in a Barcelona side, maybe even that PSG side last year, let's not even think about tactics. Let's just think about putting a quality player like this guy in an even quality or more quality team than this Manchester United team over the years. Oh my goodness. So that's really what I mean. And what he's given United has been way more than I think a lot of even players that are potentially better than Bruno Fernandes in the world would be able to give. And I mean that, right? And that's when you get to Bruno's character, his real quality. He's a special player. He's a really special player because I think you could put talents way better than Bruno on this United team. And you can argue you've seen some that haven't played nearly as well. And what Bruno has been able to do, by the way, guys, for this team, guys, 307 appearances. It's not all about the stats. 103 goals, 93 assists, man. He has been, spending you could say the prime of his career here. He's only won 2 trophies with them, he's used to being in that Portugal side, and, there's a lot more quality in that side. So, look, that's what I kind of want to just prefix before we break down this Bruno situation. I think the guy is a hell of a player. He's 31 years old, and, he was visibly, I don't even think it was just yesterday. There's been a lot of games now where Bruno, when I watch the United team at the end of the game, he's just like mad. And some people look at it like, oh, he's a baby. He's annoying. He's always crying. Like, look, man, I hear that, right? There's a lot of players like that. But for me, I will say this about Bruno, right? I think he just demands more. I think he knows that there's more that can, come out of this team, and that can enable him to be even better. And I look at many of these United games, and I'm like, you know what? I think Bruno at this point, the guy deserves a statue for this club because the amount of stuff he has put up with at this club, again, as I said, managers, formations, all these different things changing all the time and still giving you that output and that loyalty. And then people are joking on Twitter saying Bruno saw that Salah interview last week and said this. But look, let's break this down, right? Because the real reason we're talking and doing this video today is that we've got kind of some crazy news coming out about some things that Bruno has said. So we're going to break down and give you guys some opinions. So Bruno said, Manchester United wanted me to leave last summer. I have that in my head. Now, we heard about this. This was last summer. There was rumors every single day about Bruno and Salah leaving both of their clubs, right? Neither of them left. They both stayed, and now they're both in these situations, right? Bruno's kind of still feeling like, well, United are definitely fighting a little bit more for the title this season, or at least let's say top 4, right? I kind of meant that. It's still that same old feeling sometimes with United where he knows he's just frustrated. What more can they do when they can't defend and they're scoring 4 goals? Like yesterday. So he says, I told the directors this, but I think they didn't have the courage to make that decision. I decided to stay also because of family reasons, but because I genuinely like the club. Obviously, guys, you can see the reactions from Bruno when they win. The amount this guy gets fired up with the fans, you can't really fake that. This guy is definitely, he loves United, right? The conversation with the manager also made me stay, but from the club side, I felt a bit like if you leave, it's not so bad for us. Okay? Now, obviously, let's break that down. Second sentence, conversations with Amorim, who comes from Sporting. Where's Bruno from? Sporting. Is he Portuguese? He's Portuguese, right? It makes sense, right, that he wants to see it out with this guy. I can understand that. But outside of Amorim, the club had been making him feel like if you leave, it's not so bad for us. Now, let me go over this, right? Say what you want about the Serie A, right? Say what you want, okay? You've let's say 2 players now, specifically one. Guys, McTominay, I felt like, was always actually good at United. There was moments where he was overhated, but his actual output was disrespected from Manchester United to let him go. He has put in literally a team of the year level season. We're not talking he's just been playing well. Guys, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. I'd have to look this up to fact check this. I think he won the Serie A Player of the Season. Serie A Player of the Season. Player of the Year. I don't know 100% if that was even... Player of the Season refers to the MVP awards where Scott McTominay was named the overall player of the season, guys. Okay? So that's what happened with someone that you felt that, hey, it's not so bad for us. And what's to say... Look, this is what I've kind of been alluding to here about Bruno, but what's to say McTominay wasn't going to keep developing at United and keep playing better season over season? Well, you never know. And then you let him leave, maybe go to a little bit more of a side that's a little bit more cohesive, and he's been playing a player of the season in a top 5 league level season, okay? So for Bruno to have this feeling that from a club side, if he leaves, it's not so bad for us. Guys, that might be Manchester United, the guys running in this club at the top. Are you guys serious? Are you guys delusional? Do you know how many games Bruno Fernandes has saved you guys over the season? I mean, we're talking if Bruno wasn't even there last season, relegating level bad, okay? So Bruno has been nothing but loyal to your club, nothing but loyal, guys. You know, yes, he's been in rumors and stuff. There's been a fire sale going on at United every offseason. It's the reality. Let's read it more. By the way, this part right here, this is the stupidest thing I've read today, okay? If he's really getting this feeling from the club, it's a real thing. He's not going to make this up and talk about this in interviews. If United has the balls to make him feel this way, they're out of their minds. They're out of their damn minds. Because imagine Bruno, if he was truly happy and truly thriving in a great team, how much better he would even be than what he's already been at United. He's been insane. It hurts me a lot. More than hurting, it makes me sad because I'm a player they have nothing to criticize about. I'm always available. I always play, good or bad. I give my all. Then you see things around you, players who don't value the club as much and don't defend the club as much. That makes you sad. How many players can we say this about? Guys that have been at Manchester United, not giving it their all, expecting this luxury, not running after every play. You know, for me, Bruno, the one thing you say about him, because he's at least self-aware. He does have some really bad games. I agree. When he's on his day, he's potentially the best player in the Premier League. I mean, the fact that for years he was constantly in this debate with Kevin De Bruyne, who's genuinely probably the best passer the Prem's ever seen. Okay? That's how good this guy has been. And for me, Bruno's just, as he's gone with his age, he's only gotten better in terms of his technique and his quality. So, you know, obviously, he does give his all every game, and I think he's spitting here. And I think you're seeing when he's walking out like that last night, a bit of it is frustration. A bit of his frustration. This guy wants and knows they can be so much better, but it's like, is everybody on his level? You know, do they have that competitive desire? Now he goes on to say, if one day I have to play in Saudi Arabia, I'll play in Saudi Arabia. My lifestyle will change. My children's lives will be sunny. After 6 years in Manchester with cold and rain, I'll be playing in a growing league with recognized players. Okay, let's break this down. I'd say it's a little bit more than sunny. It's not your typical nice 70-degree weather, or let's say 30, 27, 26, 25 degrees Celsius weather with sun. Very hot, but this is understandable with the cold and the rain. Let's talk about the growing league with recognized players. Did he say anything here that was false? No. You know, I personally would not like I know the money's crazy. I would like to see Bruno still have a stint somewhere for 2 years until he's about 34. Because for me with Bruno, he's one of those players that the quality and technique he has is greater than the athleticism he has. Some players are more reliant on their pure athleticism. He is more of a technician and that type of player, which means for me, I always think life expectancy with their career is longer. You know, so I still would like to see, I still think we got to see Bruno playing at another club. I really do, before he goes to Saudi, because I thought we lost a lot of players to Saudi too early. Then just after that, the level just goes there. You know, once you go to Saudi or the MLS, it's chalked. You know, we all know that. So, just a thought. For me, I mean, I understand Bruno wants to get his bag. The next tweet we're going to talk about, obviously there was that Al Hilal deal that collapsed. I'm very well paid, but obviously the difference is huge. That was never what guided me. I could have left trying to force the club, but I never felt in a position to do that. I felt empathy and affection, right? And, you know, Bruno's basically saying, like, look, I respect Manchester United. I've been committed here. And, you know, obviously with any relationship or feeling, when you don't receive the same level of respect, it's very annoying. But for me, you know, at the end of the day, guys, say what you want about Bruno Fernandes. Just looking at this situation, talking about this situation with you guys, he's nothing but a phenomenal professional, you know? And he has every right to be frustrated on days like yesterday where he feels like they should be walking away with a win, and they're not. So for me, I stand with Bruno on this one. And whatever Bruno wants to do next in his career, I think at this point he's given his all to United. If he's feeling this way against the club, that's a sucky feeling. But he does not deserve to feel that way at all. And I know some people are a club over player, but like when you have a situation with Bruno where this guy is this talented and stuck it out here this long, and he's still getting that feeling after turning down multiple double, triple paydays, man, I personally just want to see Bruno at the club level. I know United's having a better season at somewhere we're talking like top 4. Like, what about a Bayern Munich level club? What about a Bayern Munich move for Bruno? You know what I'm saying? What about that? Who says no to that? I know they got Musiala as their 10, but let's be real. We can plug Musiala anywhere else, man. He's going to cook. So just a thought, man. I know that everybody's going to want the Real Madrid, the Barças of the world for Bruno, but just a thought for me on a team that I think I would actually really like to see. He's leading the league in assists this season, guys. What else is there to talk about with Bruno? And again, as I said earlier, I think the frustration is completely warranted, man, for him to be upset. Like if you're a Manchester United fan, losing Bruno, you have to be real with yourself. I mean, it's going to be gutting if it happens, when it happens. This man has done nothing besides give it his all, his whole career. And that's a big worry. I think it's a real reality that Bruno Fernandes is probably going to leave in the next year or two. I mean, I just don't know what else he has to give this club. And, if the player is becoming more unhappy and he's given it, let's say, all these seasons now, he has won 2 trophies at United. I think at that point, you got the right to make a move if you want to. It's more of these players that are annoying, that are like crying after the first month and then demanding this wage. I have never seen Bruno really do that, to the best of my knowledge, at least. So what do you guys think, man? The Bruno Fernandes situation, it looks like Bruno is going to be probably going after this season or maybe one more season, but I guess we will see, guys.